As the Dallas Cowboys continue their off-season preparations, one of the most pressing storylines remains unresolved. Star linebacker Micah Parsons has yet to finalize a long-term contract with the team. According to multiple reports, including a detailed update from ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, negotiations between the Cowboys and Parsons' representatives have not significantly progressed. Fowler's report paints a picture of a franchise that, while expressing a strong desire to retain Parsons, has not yet shown urgency in getting a deal done. They plan to sign Micah Parsons. They've budgeted for it, Fowler stated. But talks have not ramped up. There's been no aggressive movement. This slow-paced approach is not unfamiliar territory for the Cowboys. Over the years, the organization has developed a reputation for dragging its feet on major extensions. Previous negotiations with players like quarterback Dak Prescott and wide receiver CeeDee Lamb extended well into the preseason, sometimes concluding just weeks before kickoff. It's a pattern that continues to puzzle both fans and analysts alike. The financial stakes in Parsons' case are enormous. He's widely considered one of the premier defensive talents in the NFL, and his next contract is expected to be historic. Early projections pegged his market value around $35 to $40 million per year. However, recent developments in the league have pushed those expectations even higher. The landscape shifted significantly following the contracts awarded to players like Jamar Chase and Myles Garrett, deals that shattered previous ceilings for non-quarterbacks. If Dallas intends to secure Parsons through the prime of his career, they will likely need to commit to a package in the range of $40.5 million annually, with guarantees approaching or exceeding $165 million. Depending on the structure, such a contract could reach 5 years and break the $200 million mark, something never before seen for a non-quarterback. Yet despite this clarity in market value and Parsons' elite performance level, the Cowboys seem to be hesitating. Fowler notes that there are internal conversations within the franchise about waiting to see more leadership from Parsons. Such vague benchmarks have drawn criticism from analysts who argue that the delay is both unnecessary and costly. Historically, the Cowboys' reluctance to act quickly has come at a financial premium. Waiting on big-name contracts has led the team to pay more in guaranteed money and has reduced flexibility under the salary cap. The logic of delay is increasingly being questioned, especially when all parties acknowledge the inevitable outcome: a record-setting deal for Parsons. The Cowboys' negotiation style, characterized by cautious pacing and deferred urgency, continues to dominate the conversation surrounding Parsons. Many argue that the team is gambling with cap space and risking locker room morale by not moving faster. The burden of urgency now lies squarely on the front office. As other franchises lock in their stars, Dallas risks falling behind in both team building and public perception. The Micah Parsons situation is no longer just a contract issue. It's becoming a test of how committed the organization is to retaining generational talent. And with training camp looming, time is ticking. In a development that has sparked interest across Cowboys Nation, recent reporting indicates that there may be mutual interest between Dallas and veteran wide receiver Amari Cooper in a potential reunion. Originally traded to the Cleveland Browns, Cooper now finds himself at a career crossroads. Despite a drop-off in production last season, his performance in Dallas remains a benchmark. With the Cowboys in need of a reliable WR2 following a draft that yielded no significant additions at the position, Cooper's familiarity with the system and chemistry with quarterback Dak Prescott present an appealing option. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler revealed that internal discussions about Cooper have gained traction. There's some mutual interest, he reported, noting that while Dallas is not inclined to spend heavily, there is openness to a reunion under the right financial terms. Cooper's situation is nuanced. At 30 years old and having earned close to $140 million in career earnings, he may not be eager to accept a minimal offer. On the other hand, the current free agent market does not favor older receivers, particularly those with recent injuries or reduced production. The Cowboys' recent spending history offers clues about how this could play out. In recent years, the team has rarely paid more than $5 million annually for free agent wide receivers. If Cooper is willing to accept a one-year incentive-laden deal in that range, the stars could align for a low-risk, high-reward reunion. Statistically, Cooper's 2023 campaign fell short of expectations. He was less productive than rising talent Jalen Tolbert, prompting questions about whether injuries, inconsistent quarterback play, or a midseason trade disrupted his rhythm. Nonetheless, his most productive years were in Dallas, and the familiarity could reignite his career. The Cowboys' current receiver depth, featuring CeeDee Lamb, Tolbert, Kevontae Turpin, and rookie additions like Jalen Brooks and Ryan Flournoy, lacks a proven WR2 presence. Relying solely on internal development, especially when last year's unit didn't meet expectations, carries substantial risk. 1 year of Cooper could bridge that gap. Cooper still commands respect from defensive backs, and his precise route running has not entirely diminished. In a competitive NFC where marginal roster upgrades can tilt playoff outcomes, his return could be the difference between a wild card exit and a deep postseason run. Several other veteran receivers remain available, including Keenan Allen, but Cooper's history with the team gives him a distinct edge. The question now shifts from talent to terms. Will Cooper lower his financial expectations? And can the Cowboys break from their tight spending tradition to address a clear need? With the B market offering limited options and the regular season inching closer, Dallas may soon have to decide whether sentiment and strategy can meet halfway. While marquee names dominate headlines, the foundation of NFL rosters is often laid quietly through undrafted free agents. For the Dallas Cowboys, this year's class offers intriguing possibilities, and ESPN's Todd Archer recently broke down the financial details of those rookie additions. The Cowboys handed out varying levels of guaranteed money and signing bonuses to a group of undrafted players, signaling where the front office sees potential. Among the most notable are defensive backs Elijah Clark and Justin Barron, both of whom received a combined $234,000 in guarantees matching the typical pay rate for practice squad players. These figures provide a strong indication that Clark and Barron are not just camp bodies. The guaranteed money reflects Dallas's intent to retain them, likely via practice squad spots with opportunities for elevation to the main roster. Safety. Mike Smith also received a notable investment, suggesting that the team values his developmental potential. At tight end, Ronaldo Fairweather edged out fellow signee Tyler Neville in guaranteed funds, signaling a competitive but strategic approach to roster building at that position. Zion Childress, another safety prospect, received $125,000 guaranteed, well above the minimum. Josh Kelly, a running back out of Fresno State, landed a $75,000 signing bonus, a strong show of confidence in his upside. Meanwhile, other players received less generous deals. Wide receiver Tez Johnson was at the low end of the spectrum, receiving a meager $3,000 bonus with no additional guaranteed money. Such low investment raises questions about how his pre-draft interviews and evaluations went, and whether he can make an impact during training camp. The overall takeaway from these contract structures is clear. Dallas remains committed to identifying and developing hidden gems, a strategy that has served them well in past years. Players like Tony Romo, Cole Beasley, and more recently, TJ Vasher, all entered the league as undrafted players. This year's class could continue that tradition. As the Cowboys gear up for training camp, these lesser-known names will get their chance to make a mark. While big contract negotiations and veteran signings attract attention, It's often the work done at the margins that defines long-term roster strength. And in Dallas, those margins are being meticulously measured, one undrafted rookie at a time.